Well, I'm kind of wishing I didn't watch the races before I brought this video to you guys. I mean, there's nothing we can really do with Patrick and Tenacious. Patrick the Prawn is smart enough to know when he gets taken back and they're going fast, he's going to put out a fair amount in his mind. You know, he's an older horse. He draws the inside and drops down. I kind of feel bad because he draws the inside and drops down. Unless it's next week, I'm going to drive him, and he's probably, and this is, you know, we're going to soon be on the upswing of the crappy part of condition racing, right? He had a few starts where he raced good, maybe 3 or 4 or even 5, but then you get up in this zone where you're in the 8, 9, 10,000, 11,000 class. 8 can get a little salty, and 10 and 11, there's always gatekeepers waiting for you, and he was and kind of is a gatekeeper still, but not of the younger variety, let's say, right? So now you draw the outside, which is insult to injury, and take him back, and he's like, fine, I'll just sit back here. Puts in a little spurt here and there, but you really got to shake him up, and there was nothing Sean Johnson could do today. That's just how the race was when the draw came out, and that's exactly how it played out. Now, Tenacious Hanover, I thought raced well, but, you know, I told the young man not to move him in the third, but, you know, he's a good kid, Justin. You know, you guys know that I get into it with him a little bit a month ago with Save America's Race, right? And there was a whole thing, and that's fine. That stuff happens. But you have to get the horses into the race, right? And when you don't know the horse, when you don't know Tenacious, and he feels a little tentative coming out of the gate, you're more apt to just maybe let yourself off the throttle. And when you do that, it's already too late. You're getting away 8th. Get away 8th. You know, if he had a follow cover down the backstretch, again, I told him, just be careful with him in the third quarter. You know, he'll feel like he wants to move. He'll kind of rope you in. And then you'll get him out in the flow and he'll be like, gotcha. And he'll just drop the bit and won't go forward. But if you can keep him bottled up to the head of lane, he's usually got a pretty good kick to him. I thought he looked better today. Maybe 95% right front, 90% left hind. That's okay for him. If Tim can get him ever so slightly closer to 100% right front, and we get a good class and I get a chance to drive him, then for sure I'm going to let him rock, and I think you're going to see a good performance from him. Both those horses today were in tough spots, and that's how it played out. I brought you a video earlier. Rico was awesome. I figured he would be, and he was. Leland Hanover, I'm a little torn on the whole mile. I still am. You know, the line looks good. 54-28 last half, 55-4, but he was stretched out. Now they went in 52-2. The other class went in 54-4. That's where I wanted to be. But we don't get that option, do we? So the question I have is, do we give Leland a week off as the Stallion Series approaches? And that's going to be a salty crew also. All of those horses were PA breds. Do we give him a week off, or do we give him a little more time to bulk up? I'm going to think about that one. I'm going to ponder that one. I'm off for the weekend, right? It'll be on my to-do list. Give it a second or third look as far as what we're going to do with Leland Hanover moving forward. I don't think my thoughts on him, my overall long-term vision of Leland Hanover has changed, but I would have kind of liked to see 27 and 1 or 2 on the end of it today. So we'll see. I did see him wandering. I said to Tim, we got to stay on top of those splints. Need bandages on him up front. Truthfully, I'd like to see back on tracks on him up front. Paint those splints, put the back on tracks on him, put him away for the night. You know, keep an eye on his back end. He's a big sloppy colt, so, you know, again, you probably want to stick to Baycox or Marquis with him. Just stay on top of, cover all your bases as we get into the summer, because we're not going to get too many chances to do it wrong, and he's doing it right. So I was happy with him, and then the other Trotting colts, that's about what they can do, right? As much as Go Strong Hanover gets under my skin sometimes, 59-3 being off the time he was off, having a procedure done on his throat, I don't really think we could ask much more of him. I would like to have his nose a little bit longer. Maybe by this much we would have been third, but it wasn't a bad mile. He did test my patience going up to the gate. I think the next time we drive him, I think we're just going to roll the dice, wherever that may be, and put his nose right on the gate first, because he knows, right? He was at a gear, and he was going to charge at the gate, and I said, all right, enough's enough. Away you go. And he got up to the gate, and he said, all right, he's just joking. And he sat on me a little bit, and then sprinted off the car, but he was safe. I think we just leave him the way he's hung up and put his nose right on the car next week and see how next time, maybe next week, and see how he is. And little Doolittle, He's not little, medium doodle. He can only do so much, right? I believe he will get to 58, 59, but what's that going to get you? At some point, there's going to be a couple of these horses leave, right? They're just not going to be. They're not going to be stable horses. We tried, and they're doing their best. Take nothing away. I will never say a bad word about Captain Doolittle, ever. You'll never hear me say a bad word about him. The horse did everything he could today. Texan Soprano raced good. Duly Resolved was an absolute monster in Ontario when he was there. Made a fortune. They sold him for huge, huge money. And this is the horse that beat Texan Soprano today. Now, I got here, and this is the biggest storyline of all. Listen, 53-3 is just insanity. Third lifetime start for a lot. Second lifetime start for a lot of these fillies. Third for ours. And they just go right in 53-3. I was 1.5 too wide in the first turn because I was almost going to move. I was almost going to move that horse. Hi.
Have you seen Brett at all out here?
I haven't seen Brett for a bit. I haven't seen him.
Thank you.
No problem. Tomboy Strong, the horse on the front was longer odds, and I said, I know Danny and Brad are somewhere back there. If I can just get to the front and slam the air on, maybe I got a good shot. Slam the air on. Love of God. The Henner's kid was gone. I couldn't keep up. It was a chore the whole way just to stay in the pocket, so to speak. Stay close. We hit the half down the backstretch. I'm like, man, oh man, we are rocking. And they never let up. They beat me by, had to be 10 lengths. She trots 55-4. If you would have said to me tonight, Anthony, honest opinion, 55-4, what's that get you at Tomboy Strong? Well, that gets me a win photo, doesn't it? I think. Why wouldn't it? Or it gets me third beat 10. Now, Tomboy Strong did and continues to do everything she possibly can on the track. She's a worker. I love this filly. She does everything great and did her work as good as she could tonight. Now, as good as she worked, it paled in comparison to what Emerald Tom did tonight. Now, I was angry. You guys know I take great pride in the hobbles we make, and very rarely a strap might break or something like that, but never, they just don't break. It doesn't happen. I'm getting by the quarter. You can tell when the hobbles break, they kind of let go, and then there's this weird feeling. You can tell that they're broken, right? But with Tom, I don't know if you guys noticed this or not, but going past the quarter, the hobbles we make, you have the loop, the ropes that go through the pulley, and then the pulley is attached to this snap, right? It's stitched together, and it goes back to another snap. That snap is connected to, that's how you connect the hobbles in these two snaps, and then the strap goes back to the bike. Now, the only thing that's ever broke are these snaps, so we keep an eye on them, and the straps, the stitching sometimes will be, if it's frayed at all, just get it restitched or throw it in the garbage. That's pretty much the rule in the barn. So when I saw the strap fall down, I didn't feel them break or bust. Usually you can feel them pull you and then snap, and then you can tell right away they're broke. I saw the strap fall down. The strap attached to the bike. So you have the strap attached to the bike, and there's a snap on the end of that. And usually when that happens, snap has broke, which we check, and we did check. Or the stitching is let go, which everybody checks. So now I am irate, right? I know that, I don't know what happened to Ronnie Glaspie, but I know if he's not on the front, he's made a break. So he's back there, right? I'm in a good spot behind Tyler. Now, your first instinct is just pull up, right? Hobbles are broke, just pull up. I look down, and the strap that is coming from the pulley has looped itself around the outside rope of the hobbles. It's kind of in a safe area. The horse is likely to make a break, but as far as mechanics go, this might be okay. I'm not pulling them up now. We're going for 50,000. So I'm like, I'm gonna have to, whatever juice is left in these trotting gloves, we're gonna have to use every ounce of it. So I keep them together. I keep them up in Tyler's helmet. Down the backstretch, he's starting to drift again. I got the line close right to his rump, and I'm just trying to keep him trotting, and I let him out. Justin comes screaming up alongside me. He's chasing his horse and chasing his horse. Emerald Tom is dialed in. I kind of wish Tyler didn't run. Tyler makes a break and jams us up. Now we're in the turn. I have no hobbles. They're broken. Now, I'm worse than no hobbles. I have broken hobbles. So I'm like holding them together. I see Ronnie Gillespie coming. I'm like, well, he's gone. And Kane comes out of the 2-hole, and Kane gets right up alongside me. And I said, I can't chase him. If I put him on the run right here, I will never forgive myself. We've made it all this way. So I just kind of hold them together. I know that Chris isn't going to beat me. And we go into the wire, and Chris looks over at me and he goes, that was impressive. I said, these were broke at the quarter pole. He said, I guess he doesn't need the hobbles, which he's kind of right. Now, if his hobbles, which were set great, stayed together, I pop out of the 2-hole, I kick the earplugs, and I mush him all the way through the turn. I don't know if Ronnie gets to me. Maybe he makes another break getting to me. I might have forced his hand. Maybe Kane doesn't have enough. I think I'm second for sure. No, I know I'm second for sure. I pull up and I'm mad. Now, these are catch paddocks. So the people that are taking care of them are not our people. They're just catch paddocks, very capable people, but they are not our burn people. So there's no point blowing a gasket. It's not their fault. I pull up and I grab the strap and I look. That snap's not broke. And that snap's not broke. I've had a lot of equipment break in 28 years as a driver. I have never seen hobbles come undone. They break. The strapping will break. The snaps will bust apart. I've seen that. I have never seen them just come undone. And that's what happened. Just the snap's not broke. I said, well, I can tell you what it is. It's garbage. Throw it in the garbage. In fact, I have one in the back of the car. I'm going to throw that one in the garbage myself. I don't care. I never want to see it again. That's a $6,000 snap is what that is. I guess it really doesn't matter if it broke, snapped, or what happened. It came undone. I know there's one right in the back in the trunk. So, that will be that. I'm not angry about it. I am shocked. There's nothing wrong with the snap. If you walked up to me with those hobbles right now and said, we need to use these for the 8th, I'd be like, I can't really tell you what went wrong. So that's what happened with Emerald Tom. A hell of a mile, though. You want to talk about a horse focused and determined. He's had the hobbles on for 2 months. He's never trotted a quarter better than 34 seconds without hobbles on without not having hobbles on. And he just trotted him 56 in a piece. That was an impressive mile by Emerald Tom. Both horses have raced great so far tonight. Rock Shining Star, you just can't get away 7th, right? 1, they got us in the wrong class. 2, you can't have the 5-7 get away 1-2 and you get away 7th with a horse that can leave 26 seconds. Give the horse a chance. And listen, I know it's easy for me to say, it's easy for you to say after the race, but as I said to Harry, the classes are a little tough for him over here. I think we're just going to take him over, race him at the Meadows, race him at Scioto, and that'll be that. Because you're going to race for way more money than they'd race at Grand River and at Georgian Downs, and quite frankly, JK Victory is in any of those classes that Rock Shining Star would inevitably get to in one start. And even he only races for 8,500 to 10,000 Canadian a start. 6,500, 7,000. Not really enough. But he's racing good. So JK Victory can stay there, but Rock Shining Star is coming back home. And then Foxy Seaside, I'm trying to look. I said, who's driving this filly? Now, this is a tricky filly. It's a lot to ask. It's a lot to ask Johnny to drive this filly. I had no idea that Johnny Chioka was driving this horse until I saw the starting gate at the top of the stretch. Ronnie Wren was supposed to drive her. Now, you can't go 27 flat, 55-3 with the favorite in behind you, right? It's a tough thing to do, but when you try to tell a guy she's tricky, you get her to the front in the first turn, you're like, wow, that was a good piece of driving. Next, you got to slam the air on, let Luke Ebersol remove and sit on his bumper. But he doesn't know the filly, right? He doesn't know the filly, and let her roll along. And as Jason said, Anthony, go through the program and tell me who you'd like to use instead of him. And it's not that I have a problem with Johnny. I think he's a great kid. He's just another guy trying to make it in this business, and I know how tough that can be. So I don't regret Jason giving him the drive. But at the same time, it's frustrating that, we have a filly that's supposed to win that class, and she goes up there. Longer odds from the 8-hole. Longer odds from the 8-hole. And then, gets sailed. She's not as good on the front. She just isn't, right? And he doesn't know that. And I could have told him had I known he was driving her. I literally didn't know that Johnny was driving her. Ronnie, when I saw Ronnie at the Meadows, I gave him the instructions. I said, if you get her away good and just, go easy with her, she's a decent filly. Now, Ronnie wouldn't roll her 27.55. Well, actually, he might, but I don't think he would. But I would have given Johnny the same instructions. Good filly, but you can't roughhouse her, right? So she just needs a better spot. She just needs a better spot. And I don't mean by class. I just mean not the 8-hole, not the front end. Float her over into the 3-hole, come hard down the backstretch. Let her race 3/8 of a mile, not 7/8 of a mile. So I think that's all that needs to happen. And it's not necessary. I don't mean to place this on Johnny's shoulders. He didn't know. He doesn't know the filly. He was asked to drive in short notice. He was given no instructions because nobody asked me. And he went out and did the best job he could. So it didn't work out. She'll be back in the same place with a. She'll be back in the same place. What's going on, Atlee?
How you doing?
That filly drew bad, a 7-hole, but
yeah,
she's handy.
Yeah,
and she raced good.
Yeah,
I told Eric we'd probably let those hobbles in another hole too.
Let them out.
Yeah,
yeah.
We had them out 1 hole from when you drove her too,
yeah.
And she raced good the other day. It's pretty hard to be upset with a trotting filly when they trot in 56,
exactly.
Right? Yeah. Anyway, she should be fine.
Perfect.
She should be good.
Yeah.
And then you're driving the other one. The other one's actually better than her. That's in on Tuesday. You're driving Zena Kemp.
Okay.
Dexter drove her in the limb and she got jammed up in the first turn.
Okay.
I think they tossed Andy for it, but
yeah.
She's actually a faster filly.
Okay.
And a nice filly, so you'll like her too.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll get her done.
All right,
Appreciate
man.
it, man.
Yep.
See
Good
you
luck
down there
tonight.
on Monday.
Yep. Absolutely.
Thanks,
yep.
man.
So that was Atlee Bender. Atlee Bender is driving Degas in the final and driving Zena Kemp on Tuesday. Really nice young man. He is married to Irv Miller's daughter. I believe he's maybe his head trainer. I'm not sure. Good set of hands and a really good kid. So we are off to a good start for the most part. Listen, we can complain about Rock Shining Star. Johnny and I had a great conversation after the race about Rock Shining Star. You just can't get away 7th, right? And it's a tough class. Racing against Clever Cody and those horses is not an easy ask. You got to put them in play, right? And Johnny said it best. You complain. No complaints about last week. He got butchered, but he got raced, right? Rock Shining Star is not coming from 7th to beat Clever Cody and Fallout, or not Fallout, but whoever that other horse was that won the race. They're good horses. You got to be in the hunt. Anyway, it's not the end of the world. It happens. Same with Foxy Seaside. There's the opposite. She was put into a position, maybe a little too much hunting for Foxy Seaside, but it's tough for a young man like that to jump into a catch driver's position with a fractious horse that shut her air off last week. Probably thought he was doing the right thing, and instead it didn't work out very well. So we'll endeavor to do better with her also. Nothing's ever perfect, but when I look at the entire roster, as I said, quick rundown. Rico, awesome. Leland was as good as he could be. Go Strong Hanover, that was as good as he could be today. Captain Doodle did everything he possibly could today. Left it all on the table. Just not a lot there, but left it all on the table. Texong Soprano, a great second to a very good horse today. Patrick the Piranha was just being Patrick the Piranha. Got to get an inside post, a little softer crew, shake them up, and away you go. Tenacious Hanover is back good. I know that was a little unsightly today coming from 8th. You're a country mile behind. You circle up, just get beat for 3rd. I get it. We'll put him in the hunt next time he's in. Tomboy Strong raced great. You cannot ask another thing from the babies from today. They all did their work the best they could. A 3rd and 53-3, easily a track record. Philly raced great. And Emerald Tom, that was impressive. I don't care who you are, how you look at it. That was an incredible mile. And then Rock Shining Star, as I said, there's no need beating these two dead horses. Rock Shining Star and Foxy Seaside just need to switch them up. One needed a little more, one needed a little less. And that's it. We have Supermind left. I'm really excited about that. We have Time Is on My Side, and we're going to conclude our Saturday evening with Uncle Danny, who I predict will be much better tonight. So with that, I'm going to let you go. I hope you guys are having a good Saturday. As I said, there was a spectacular mile. Emerald Tom had no business doing what he did tonight. 2-year-olds don't do that. That is an incredible feat, what he just did, and for a number of reasons. And I'm very happy with the lineup, top to bottom tonight. No huge disappointments, right? We got a couple that could have been driven a little differently, but overall the horses did what they could. So we have 1, 2, 3 left. Good luck to everybody out there. If we only have 3 left, maybe I will do a video on the way home. I guess it'll depend on the 3 races, how the 3 race. I'll talk to you soon. Take care, everybody.